Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome to episode 15 of Civilization Beyond Earth. I've not been too well over the last couple of days, so forgive me if you can still hear it in my voice a little bit or if I'm a little bit sniffly. I could have decided to not actually record any videos for a day or two until I was fully recovered, but I decided that I didn't want to wait. I wanted to carry on. I am enjoying playing Beyond Earth, even though it certainly does have some of its issues and its quirks. I didn't want to spend too much time not playing the game, so I figured I'd try and get at least one video out a day while I still can. Not only that, on the end of the last video, we managed to settle this colony over here, and I'm actually quite excited about this one because there's a lot of nice resources around here. I am going to have to buy my way out in this direction a little bit towards these guys. That may upset him a little because we will have touching borders, but I definitely want to make sure that I get as many of these resources as possible because I think that is actually going to be quite a decent city. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next turn. Before I do that, one thing I did want to check. I wanted to have a quick look on the minimap. Actually, let's just look at the menus options. It might be there. Options. Game options. Planet 4 visual effects. I've actually turned the advisor level off now because I don't actually think at this stage in the game I'm going to get anything new that I haven't already seen before. So getting the advice doesn't really help. Plus of which the advisor tends to just play over everything else. No, can't see anything else for the minimap. I was hoping that there would have been some option to make it slightly less see-through. I guess, of course, if you mouse over it, it does go into a sort of a fully opaque mode. But when it has that sort of semi-translucence when you don't mouse over it, it makes it very, very difficult to see at a glance what's going on the minimap. And I find that a little bit disappointing because often I'll glance at the minimap and I'll see that the AI have popped a city up somewhere near my borders that I might not have seen if I hadn't have glanced at the minimap. But it's very, very difficult to see in that state, so that is a little bit weird. Something else, yes, but a lot of people have been saying that I've got spies that aren't doing anything. If we just go into covert ops, we actually have someone here in headquarters. So in Beyond Earth, there's actually 3 things that spies can do. Spies can actually be in your own cities doing counterintelligence, or they can be in on assignment at another civilization city doing whatever they're doing there. Or they can be at headquarters. Now, if they're at headquarters, they're not really actively doing anything, but you do get a passive gain. So it's all down to which project they're on. So you've got these 5 projects, which are, for example, additional health, additional production, additional city strength. And you get a bonus for each agent at headquarters. So currently we're working on operations support. It lowers the risk of covert operations for agents in operations for each agent at headquarters. So basically that means that there's less chance of them being caught. And as we actually have one agent here in the headquarters, it's giving us a little bit of a boost. So maybe I'm not utilising that agent to its full potential, but I am still getting a benefit from it, even though it's just sat around in HQ not doing an awful lot. So let's go on to the next turn. I still really want to try and grow that colony. I also want to get a few more trade routes going if we can. Let's actually have a look at the cities. We've got 0 of 3 trade routes at this city, 1 of 3 here, 3 of 3 here. So yeah, we could certainly have a few more trade routes. Might be nice to actually get another trade vessel over here if we actually can. What do we have going in your production queue? Nothing currently being produced. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a trade vessel here. That'll take 3 turns. You're working on the mine stem. That's fine. A unit needs orders. That's right. We were using you to have a little bit of exploration up here. Well, we can carry on doing that while we've got open borders. Now we have this worker. What are we working on at the moment? Xenoswarm. That's going to be very useful for us. A very, very nice unit, the Xenoswarm unit. Still need to make sure we get a few of these things upgraded. I suppose we could come over here at -1 happiness now. Obviously, we have grown a little as a civilization. Let's move over here on to this tile. Maybe we can get a little bit of happiness back. I think we're going to leave the explorer here, because I don't think there's a lot of point in sending them anywhere to do anything. So for the time being, you're just going to sit there and fortify. You're not going to do an awful lot in protecting the colony, but... Okay, so it looks like we have a little bit of warfare going on between 2 of the factions there. They actually produced a colonist as well. So they're going to be going off to resettle. So the attack jets aren't having a great time there. Wonder where that colonist is heading. Maybe down here. That looks like it would be a good spot to settle a city. Maybe on the hill. Okay, so we have this explorer again. Let's carry on going up in this direction. Do as much uncovering as we can. Quite a few alien nests around with the look of things. Not a lot I can do on that turn, so let's go straight on to the next one. Actually, no, we have you here. What could we do with you? I guess we could construct a bio-well. We get 2 food here. Now, the thing with bio-wells is technically they are a replacement for farms. Because they give you extra food. I mean, a farm would give me +1 food. A bio-well would give me +2 food. Now, it also costs 2 energy. So you need to make sure that you've got the money to be able to do it, because obviously farms are free, but it does give you +1 health. It's always worth checking what your health is in each city as well, because each city has a local health. It works kind of like local happiness does in Civilization 5, and you can't have more local health in a city than you have population. So we have a population of 12, which means the maximum local health we could have is 12. We only have 6, so we can get a little bit more. So we've got a decent amount of energy coming in. Let's go ahead and get another bio-well here. I say another one. We are working on one over here somewhere, but still a few more turns before that is completed. And of course, we've still got this little attack jet war going on over here. Oh, looks like you've just lost another one. They've probably got some on intercepting there, to be honest. Okay, what have we got for you? What are you actually doing? We've got a tile with miasma on, which is fine. We've got that xenomass connected up now, so that's okay. So what could we do over here? I guess what I could do, move over onto this titanium. I need to take this auto unit cycling off, actually. It's quite annoying. There is a way of doing it in the options. If we go to auto unit cycle, let's get rid of that. Thank you. Don't want to retire. Wow, that's a lot of alien nests around there, isn't it? So, unit needs orders. What do we have? You're going to carry on working your way up through here. No, it looks like they've cleared that nest anyway. Now, what I did want to do is go over here and purchase this tile. Because titanium tiles are really, really good. On to the next turn. Sacrificing some more air units.
Torgowlia opiera nie na potrzebach, a na sprawiedliwości.
Well, I don't really need or want open borders, so let's decline that. Don't think you're one of the people who were currently walking through to explore. Obviously, we did have open borders previously. Only 2 turns away now from alien adaptation. And we could build another production. Oh, right, we have our trade vessel now. So, I guess we could go ahead and get the alien preserve. Wouldn't be too bad. Gives us an extra energy, 1 science, 2 culture. Don't think there's anything that we particularly need more than that right now. So, yep, let's go ahead and get that. Let's keep moving through with you. Another unit needs orders. Trade vessel. Okay. This is where we find out we can't trade anywhere. So, we can actually trade to our outpost. It'll give it a 50% growth rate. Let's go ahead and do that. Over the last couple of days, I've been spending a lot of time reading various reviews and talking to various people that have played the game, asking their opinion about it. And one thing that does seem to crop up a lot is people complaining about managing trade routes. Okay, fine. Now, I agree that trade routes, even in Civilization 5, were quite annoying because you do have to sort of constantly babysit them to a certain degree.
We learned too late the importance of safeguarding the precious gifts of nature. The parting gift of the elephant was the wisdom to be good stewards of the next planet.
Brilliant. So we have the Xenodrome. What city did we actually build that in? Was it our capital? It's actually here. I'm not sure whether or not you can see some of these wonders actually in the... Oh, it's here. There it is. I know I've seen people build this before, and it usually ends up out in the water, but it's actually there. So that's the Xenodome. But yes, one of the things people were complaining about is the micromanagement of trade routes. And to be fair, it was exactly the same in Civilization 5 anyway, although the trade routes didn't end quite as often. If you've been watching my single city challenge game as Venice, you'll notice that I actually spend a huge amount of time having to sort out these trade routes there, because I have double the number as Venice that any other civilization would have at that point in the game. So Megan isn't really doing anything useful now. I guess we could get an institute going, although all that really gives us is specialist slots, and if we're not going to work them, it's not going to be all that useful. +1 energy from Tundra, or we don't really have any Tundra. Again, it gives us 4 grower specialist slots, which we probably won't be using. Let's go ahead and get the Mind Stem then, we might as well. Let's keep having a look out here. Yeah, it looks like they've cleared another alien nest, but we'll keep having a look around. On to the next turn. Still in 4th position out of 6, although not terribly far behind. I definitely think I got off to a very slow start, and I think it was because I spent a little bit too long trying to get my sort of 2nd and 3rd cities established.
All opposing forces start to
well, we've
resemble each
researched
other
a new
as conflict
technology.
continues.
So we have Xeno Swarm. That actually gives us another level towards our Harmony affinity, though we don't really get anything for 7. We do get an upgrade, though. We can upgrade our gunner to the Striker. So let's go ahead and do that. We can either give it +25 hit points heal after killing an enemy unit, or we can give it +30% when attacking fortified units. I mean, this is okay if you get the kill, but there again, if you're already at full health, it's not that useful. And this is very situational because it relies on the enemy unit being fortified. So either one is going to be a little bit situational, but let's go ahead and take that perk. And we do get upgraded with an extra +6 strength and an extra 12 range strength, so it's quite a good little unit now that we've got that. We do get to choose another research, however. Could do with a little bit of health would be quite useful. What could we get that would work for us? I guess we could go into synergetics, and we could get microbial mines, which would give us a lot of extra production. It requires level 7 in Harmony, which we have. Don't necessarily need that that wonder. This is another conversation I was having with Marbazir about how broken internal trade routes are. You could build this wonder that takes 1,250 production, which is a huge amount of production. And admittedly, this one does give you 100 hit points in the city, but it only gives you +4 production per turn. And I've seen internal trade routes giving like 12 production per turn, so it is a little bit broken. But if we do go for synergetics, we can then go for designer life forms, which gives us another harmony level and allows us to build the Roctopus. So, can move between orbital deployments and provide limited orbital coverage around its location. Range strength 20. Quite an interesting thing. Not sure whether or not we're going to go for that right now. What else could we go for? We could go into alien domestication. That would give us Xeno cavalry as well as another level in our harmony affinity. Or we could go into artificial evolution, which would allow us to build the progenitor garden, which would give us... It's 4 xenomass cost, which is quite expensive. Requires level 10 in Harmony, so we can't build it just yet, but it would give us +20 health. We could also build the Resurrection Device, which is a wonder, which is an instant +8 health. And then that allows us to go into Alien Evolution, which would allow us to get our Xenotitan, which is the top tier unit that you can get for the Harmony. I think, though, going into... miasmic condenser, do we need that? Not really. Well, I mean, it could be useful. That means we can actually generate miasma on effective tiles with a satellite, and miasma's good for us now, so we can actually add miasma if we get that. I think what we should probably do, though, is go into alien domestication, because we'll get an easy harmony affinity level out of that one. So let's go ahead and do that. You are going to build a mine on there. That'll give us +1 food and +4 production. So that'll make that a 2 food, 5 production tile, which will be absolutely amazing. You guys are going to continue north, finding a lot of tundra up here, so we're probably going to have to go and find something more useful for you to do. Send you off somewhere else to explore. Still got a couple of exploration modules left, but I'm not sure that this explorer is actually going to find anything worthwhile. I guess if there is anything around here on this continent, it's probably already going to have been taken. But we'll have a look around anyway. Cooperation agreement has expired with, I think that's Polystrasia or whatever it's called. Right, you've finished that bio well, which has now put us into 0 happiness. That is fine. Guess we could go and build a couple more on some of these tiles because they're not all that useful. Let's just quickly go into diplomacy. We have different affinities, so we may not actually go for the cooperation agreement now.
Tell me.
Oh no, still doing it, which is weird because if it was like ideologies in Civilization 5, the fact that we actually have a different affinity would cause some friction and some tensions there, but it doesn't really seem to do that anymore. Just having a look in the affinity levels, I mean, they have 5, 2, 2, we have 8 in total. We're definitely ahead as far as affinity levels go, even though we're not really doing all that well in score, but let's go on to the next turn and see what we can't do.
What's ours is yours.
You still want open borders again? Let's carry on going with that. I don't really think there's much of a downside to having open borders. It's not like there are culture victories where someone is actually going to come along and, you know, sort of either spread their religion to you or get their culture to you. So I think we're okay there.
If we don't focus on living on this world right now with the people
Well,
that are here,
we've reached another level
The
in our
day
affinity.
is
We've actually
coming
reached
when
level
we-
9. Why? How did we manage that? Tech stolen, agent undetected. We've stolen photo systems technology and was not detected. Excellent work. Let's go on and we could recruit defectors. Let's just try and steal another tech. That was actually quite useful. So what tech was that we got, sorry? It was photo systems. And whereabouts on the list is that? Photo systems. All the way up there. Right, okay, so that's where we got another harmony affinity level from. We actually got 2, because we were already almost at level 8. Because it isn't just... When you get these things, you don't just get an instant point. You actually get... It's like an XP. So if you see here next to Supremacy, there's a little yellow bar that's starting to fill up. So I'm actually halfway through, or halfway up to getting level 2. When I had 7 harmony, I was almost at level 8, so that was just enough with the look of things to pop that over the edge. That gives us 4 extra Xenomass, puts us up to 14, which is quite nice. So as you can see, it says 0 of 21 towards the next level. If we highlight Supremacy, it says at the bottom 7 of 12 towards next level. 2 units we can upgrade now. The armour can be upgraded to the Viper. We can either give it 40% when not next to a friendly unit, or we can give it pillaging costs no movement and gives 20 hit points heal when not in bot. That's actually quite good, being able to pillage for free. So let's go ahead and take that. We can also upgrade our artillery. I haven't even built any artillery yet. But that allows us to get the Centaur. We already have plus 40 when attacking cities. We could take plus 1 movement, or we could take plus 40 when defending against ranged attacks. I like the plus 1 movement because the problem with artillery is they still only have a range of an attack range of 2, and as it costs you 1 movement point to set up before firing, having 3 movement basically allows you to move 1 tile, set up, and then fire in the same turn. So we're definitely going to go for that. I might actually build one just so that I have one nearby. Another production in Thabo. We can actually set up another trade vessel because I did see another trade route. So let's go ahead and do that. We have a quest decision. I'm not going to bother reading all of this out because, like I said, I do have a bit of a scratchy throat and I'll probably just start coughing. So we can either get plus 2 culture from Xeno Sanctuaries or plus 2 food. I don't think the food's going to be that useful because we're literally struggling to stay in positive health. So let's go for the culture. And obviously that's going to allow us to get new virtues more quickly. This worker is going to go ahead and build another bio well. 14 turns, actually quite a long time to construct something there. You can just carry on coming down here. You might find something useful. You might find a crashed satellite. I doubt there's going to be anything around. It's like trying to look for late game ancient ruins in Civilization 5. It's very unlikely you'll find any unless you find one on an isolated island that hasn't been visited. But then even if you do manage to get it, it's probably not worth the effort for getting it after all. But we'll continue to have a look around anyway. A little bit of an animation glitch going on there. We seem to be jogging on the spot. So yeah, the game definitely does have a few little issues. I did notice from time to time. I don't think it's causing a problem now. Used to do it on soldiers, where you'd have several units stacking on top of one another. Seems to be okay for the time being, but it was definitely a strange thing. You're still running on the spot. Let's just go ahead and hit next turn. I must admit, for a game that comes out of a studio like Firaxis, who, you know, it's a AAA title, it's a full price title, and they had a good budget for making this game. It certainly does seem that there's quite a few things that were either left out, missed out, or just not very well implemented. I mean, how does this sort of thing not get picked up in testing? You know, it's a very, very strange thing to be happening. Again, not an awful lot else we can do. Somehow there, we actually managed to jump up to second on the scoreboard. And we're not a million miles behind first place either. So even though I did get off to a bit of a stalled start, and don't forget, I mean, it's the same as Civilization 5. Being high or low on the scoreboard isn't necessarily an indicator of how well you're going to do. I mean, it's a rough guesstimate, and it's pretty much all you can do in Beyond Earth because there's no demographic screen. Production in Thabo, what are we going to do over here? I guess we could go ahead and get a Xeno Swarm. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Is there anything else that we would prefer to get? Xenofuel plant would give us +1 energy from Xenomass. That's not a bad idea. Xeno Nursery would give us +1 science from Xenomass. I guess we could go ahead and get both of them in there. We could also do with the Mind Stem. That's 20 turns though, which is quite a lot. Let's go ahead and get the Xenofuel plant. Develop a virtue. What are we going to go for here? What could we get? So 25% production against orbital units, not really interested. Plus 25% more yields from trade routes to your own cities. That could be very lucrative. +2 production from the manufacturing improvements. What have we got over here? Leaf technologies cost 10% less. Could be useful. We could start working our way down here and getting up to this one. 25% less negative health, but I'm not having massive problems with that. I think I'm going to go for 25% more yields from trade routes to our own cities. And then it's more important that we actually get as many trade routes connected up as possible at this point. We have a trade convoy here, speak of the devil. Previously you were going to Ion. I guess we're going to carry on doing that because it should be quite lucrative. We have the new trade vessel. You are going to go to Uzbek. Not an awful lot of anything we get from there, to be honest. It's quite a bad trade route, but it's a trade route nonetheless. Let's go on and have another turn. You want to give? You want me to give you 35 science per turn for favour? No. That's not going to happen, I'm afraid. I certainly think if you have a good enough economy to be able to support biowells, you're better off getting all of these and replacing farms with them. One thing I'm not sure about on these biowells is, do you actually need to work the tile to get the happiness? Yes, you do. You do actually have to be working the tile to get the or to get the health from it. So that's an interesting thing to know. Ah, very interesting. What else is worth working? I guess that has one production, but that is probably a better tile because it will give us growth. That is a good tile, and we'll definitely get that tile working as and when we can. Let's get out of there. Still not quite used to the interface yet, finding all the buttons. Ah, that's why we've dropped in some health, because we finally have our new city up here. First thing you should get probably is a well, a couple of useful things. I mean, we could get the Saito Nursery. It would take 5 additional turns, but it would give us 1 extra production, 1 extra food from moshes. Let's get the clinic first because it's cheaper. Let's just go ahead and do it that way. You have finished that bio well, which hasn't helped massively. So move down to this tile. Are we even working that bio well? No, we are not, which is part of the problem here. Do we need all that production? Could we take one out of there? Or should we take this one out? Probably take that one out. Put you in the bio well. And that gives us 1 extra health. It's not amazing, but... Continue exploring around the coast with this guy. Another xenomass that seems to have been cleared of its alien protectors. What are we going to do with you? Maybe get another bio well over here. Is this one being worked? No, it isn't. Do we have a tile that we would consider to be not fantastic that we're working? I guess we could give up 3 food and 1 energy to get 4 food and 1 health. And I guess we could go ahead and replace some of these farms. I mean, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Actually stop working the farms and just convert them all to bio wells while we have the money. Oh, buttons down at the bottom. Forgot again. Unit needs orders. Trade vessel. Where were you going? You can just carry on going to there now. Actually going to give it plus 13 production per turn. So it was going to take 9 turns to build that clinic. It's now only going to take 4 turns. So, you know, that internal trade route is literally knocked more than half of the construction time off of building the clinic there. Oh, yeah, we'll refrain from settling near you in the future. And you've just reminded me that now this is a full city. I need to... can I not buy this tile? That's interesting. I certainly have the... That's really weird. Oh, is it still on the AI turn? That's why. Derp. So let's go ahead and buy that tile. And let's go ahead and buy that tile. And that literally means we grab that resource. What tile are we working? We're working that one. That's not terrible. Probably is about the best one you can work. Do we have any titanium nearby? Yes, that'd be a good tile to get going nice and early. Costs us a little bit of money, but we could go ahead and get a titanium tile. We are going to need to get a worker in here as well. Potentially that is something that we can just go ahead and purchase outright. I know they're quite cheap to build, but also quite cheap to buy as well, so let's go ahead and do that. You were going to go down here and construct a bio well. That's going to take you 14 turns. If we just stuck you on the farm and got you to replace this farm with a bio well, that would only take 10 turns because you don't have to clear the forest, so slightly quicker. Got that city connection established as well now, obviously because it's a coastal city. So let's carry on having a look around the edge of the coastland here. You are going to... I think you're going to do the same thing, actually. You're going to come over here and create a bio well. And I think I'll play one more turn before ending the video. Still in second place on the score, and only 5 points behind currently. Quite happy about that for my first game, and I'm not playing on the easiest difficulty level that I have done with games in the past. So we've grown here already. What tiles are we going to work? 2 food, 1 production, and 2 energy from each. It's pretty good, I suppose. I don't think we can really work any tiles that would give us any extra production, so I'm fine with that. We do have our worker. That's not the unit that I wanted. What have I got selected here? This worker. No, you stay there doing what you're doing. Just carry on doing that. Unit needs orders. You are going to keep looking around the coast. Still haven't found anything worth nabbing yet. You're the one I wanted. You're going to come over here. That will use all of your movement, of course, because you've just got to cross over the river. Go on then. One more turn. Oh, hello. What are you doing here? This is my land. I'm in reach of all of these resources, like the coral, the geothermal, even the algae. Cooperation agreement has expired with Kavitha. Markov Eclipse has been done. So let's go in and find Kavitha. Let us discuss and
Namaste.
go for cooperation agreement. Yep, she's fine with that. Good stuff. Production. Right, finish that clinic. That's going to help the health a little bit. Let's go for the Cyto nursery. Only 5 turns now, and that'll give us +1 production and +1 health as well. So that's all good stuff. You're still having a look down here. Looks like this little corner of the map is uncolonized. Maybe somewhere else we could go and drop another city in the future. Plantation, +2 food. That'll certainly help this city grow. And that is all I can do on this turn, so I'm going to end the video there. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are still enjoying Civilization Beyond Earth. And I'll see you next time. So until then, goodbye for now.